Exploring the death certificates and autopsy reports of old Hollywood celebrities reveals a tapestry of tragedy, scandal, and mystery. While some cases are well known, others remain shrouded in intrigue, offering a glimpse into the darker side of fame. John Wayne, The Conqueror's Curse. John Wayne, a towering figure in Hollywood's golden era, died in 1979 from respiratory arrest and stomach cancer. However, a chilling theory casts a long shadow over his death. In 1956, Wayne starred in The Conqueror, a film shot in Utah near the Nevada test site, where the U.S. government had conducted extensive nuclear testing. During and shortly after production, winds carried radioactive fallout into the filming area. Unbeknownst to the cast and crew, the health consequences were devastating. Of the approximately 220 people involved in the film's production, 91 eventually developed cancer, and 46 had died from the disease by 1980. These alarming numbers led many to believe that the location's radiation exposure was a significant factor in Wayne's illness, and the others. While the government denied a direct connection, the clustering of cancer cases among those who worked on the movie remains one of Hollywood's most haunting medical mysteries. Wayne's tragic end, paired with the hidden dangers of nuclear fallout, turned The Conqueror into a symbol of the unforeseen risks lurking behind the glitz of Hollywood. Nick Adams, a promising actor of the 1950s and 60s, was known for his boyish charm and connections to major Hollywood stars like James Dean and Elvis Presley. Despite his growing fame and an Oscar nomination for Twilight of Honor, his career began to falter by the mid-1960s. On February 7, 1968, Adams was found dead at age 36 in his Beverly Hills home. The cause of death listed on his certificate was formaldehyde and promazine intoxication, a lethal combination of sedative and antipsychotic medications. Though ruled accidental, the circumstances surrounding Adams' death remain clouded in mystery. Some believe it may have been a suicide due to his struggling career and possible depression, while others have speculated foul play. Reports noted there were no signs of trauma or violence, but questions lingered. Why was he taking such strong medications, and was the overdose truly unintentional? Nick Adams' sudden and unexplained end adds him to the list of old Hollywood figures whose fame was shadowed by personal turmoil and unresolved tragedy, leaving behind more questions than answers. Vera West, a talented costume designer best known for her work on classic Universal horror films like Frankenstein and The Mummy, was found dead in her Los Angeles home's swimming pool in 1947. Her death was ruled a suicide by drowning, but disturbing details surrounding the case have led to decades of speculation. 2 handwritten notes were discovered near her body, in which West claimed she had been blackmailed for over 20 years. The content of the notes suggested ongoing threats and psychological torment. Yet, despite her emotional claims, there was no clear evidence of blackmail payments, and her husband insisted there had been no financial irregularities. West's successful career had already begun to decline by the 1940s. And some speculate she may have felt isolated or disillusioned. However, the tone of her notes and the mysterious circumstances, combined with a lack of follow-up investigation, have led some to question the official ruling. Was Vera West a troubled woman who ended her own life, or a victim of something more sinister? Her death remains one of old Hollywood's most haunting and unresolved tragedies. Delphine Walsh was a rising dancer in the vibrant nightlife of 1920s Los Angeles, but her promising career ended in tragedy in 1929. At just 22 years old, she died from septic peritonitis, a painful and often fatal infection, following a botched illegal abortion. In an era when abortion was criminalized and heavily stigmatized, women like Walsh had few safe options. The procedure was allegedly performed by 2 doctors, Dr. R.S. Lanterman and Dr. P.S. Traxler. Though both were ultimately acquitted of criminal charges, their medical licenses were revoked due to unethical conduct. Walsh's death became a cautionary tale and a stark reminder of the dangers faced by women who sought reproductive care in secret. Often at great personal risk, her death certificate listed septic peritonitis as the cause, but the story behind it reflected a broader societal failure, a system that left women vulnerable to unregulated and often unsafe medical procedures. Delphine Walsh's case is a grim example of how restrictive laws can lead to desperate acts, highlighting the hidden tragedies of old Hollywood's underbelly. Georgette Bauerdorf, a 20-year-old oil heiress and socialite, was found dead in her West Hollywood apartment on October 12, 1944. She had been beaten and strangled, her body discovered face down in a bathtub overflowing with water. Though signs of a struggle were evident, the killer was never identified, and her murder remains one of old Hollywood's most haunting unsolved cases. Bauerdorf had worked as a hostess at the Hollywood Canteen, where she regularly danced with soldiers, leading some to speculate that she may have been targeted by someone she met there. Complicating matters, her diary reportedly contained intimate details about her personal relationships. Rumors swirled that investigators quietly closed the case to avoid scandal. Preserving the reputations of prominent men potentially named in her writings, despite extensive police efforts at the time, no one was ever charged. Over the years, the case has drawn comparisons to the later Black Dahlia murder, both involving young women, Hollywood dreams, and brutal, unexplained ends. Georgette Bauerdorf's tragic death remains an unsettling symbol of the era's hidden darkness behind the glamour. William Desmond Taylor, a respected director during the silent film era, was found shot to death in his Los Angeles bungalow on February 1, 1922. His death certificate listed a single gunshot wound to the back as the cause. But from the moment his body was discovered, the investigation was clouded by confusion, cover-ups, and Hollywood scandal. Police arrived hours after Taylor's valet reported the death, and in that time, several key figures allegedly entered the scene, possibly removing evidence. Even more shocking was the posthumous discovery that William Desmond Taylor was not his real name. He had abandoned a wife and child years earlier and reinvented himself in Hollywood. The revelation added intrigue to an already baffling case. Suspects included actresses Mabel Normand and Mary Miles Minter, both romantically linked to Taylor, as well as Minter's overprotective mother. Despite national headlines and intense media interest, no one was ever charged. Theories ranged from crime of passion to blackmail and studio interference. Over a century later, Taylor's murder remains one of old Hollywood's most chilling and enduring unsolved mysteries. Marilyn Monroe, one of the most iconic stars of old Hollywood, was found dead in her Los Angeles home on August 5, 1962. Her death certificate officially lists the cause as probable suicide due to an overdose of barbiturates. According to medical reports and coroner's findings, a high level of nembutal and chloral hydrate was found in her system, with no evidence of ingestion by food or water, indicating she may have taken the drugs intentionally. Despite the official ruling, Monroe's death has remained surrounded by controversy. The delay in notifying authorities, inconsistencies in witness statements, and the discovery of multiple prescription bottles without a drinking glass nearby raised suspicions. Over the years, conspiracy theories involving political figures, the mafia, and Hollywood elites have circulated widely. While no conclusive evidence of foul play has ever been proven, Monroe's case continues to be revisited in media and criminal justice discussions. Her tragic end is often cited in policy reviews surrounding mental health, substance abuse, and the pressures of fame, serving as a sobering example of how public personas can conceal deep personal struggles. Jean Spangler was a young actress and dancer hoping for her big break in Hollywood when she mysteriously vanished on October 7, 1949. The 26-year-old left her Los Angeles home, telling her sister-in-law she was going to meet her ex-husband and then head to work on a film set. She was never seen again. 2 days later, Spangler's purse was found in Griffith Park, its strap torn and contents scattered. Inside was an eerie, unfinished note addressed to someone named Kirk, possibly referencing actor Kirk Douglas, with whom she was rumored to have worked. The note read, "Can't wait any longer, going to see Dr. Scott. It will work best this way while mother is away." Authorities investigated several leads, including a potential connection to a secret abortion, illegal at the time, and her ties to various Hollywood and underworld figures. However, no body was ever found, and no one was charged. Spangler's case remains one of the most haunting unsolved disappearances in Hollywood history. Her sudden vanishing and cryptic note continue to inspire speculation, conspiracy theories, and interest from true crime historians. Bruce Lee, the global martial arts icon and film star, died unexpectedly on July 20, 1973, at just 32 years old. His official cause of death was listed as cerebral edema, swelling of the brain, possibly triggered by an allergic reaction to a painkiller, according to the autopsy report filed in Hong Kong. At the time of his death, Lee was at actress Betty Ting Pei's apartment, reviewing film scripts. Despite the medical ruling, speculation about the true cause of his death has never faded. Some theories suggest foul play due to his rapid rise and potential industry conflicts. Others point to an ancient Chinese curse tied to his family, especially after his son, Brandon Lee, also died tragically on a movie set 2 decades later. Lee had previously collapsed weeks before his death with similar symptoms, further fueling doubts. His intense physical regimen, use of experimental medications, and high-profile lifestyle added layers of intrigue. To this day, Bruce Lee's sudden passing remains a subject of debate and fascination, symbolizing the enigmatic loss of a legend at the peak of his power. Krista Helm was an aspiring actress and socialite who moved in powerful Hollywood circles during the 1970s. On February 12, 1977, she was found brutally stabbed and beaten to death outside a friend's home in West Hollywood. She was only 27 years old. The violent nature of the attack suggested personal motives, and the case quickly drew attention not only because of its brutality, but because of Helm's secret life. Investigators discovered that Helm had kept a detailed diary, often referred to as her Little Black Book, which documented her intimate relationships with numerous high-profile men, including celebrities, politicians, and executives. Some theorized that she may have been gathering information for potential blackmail or to write a tell-all book. Adding to the mystery, the diary and personal tapes she had recorded reportedly went missing after her death. Despite several suspects and renewed interest in the case over the years, her murder remains unsolved. Krista Helm's case highlights the darker side of Hollywood ambition, a world where fame, secrets, and danger often collided, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and tragedy. Albert Decker, 1905 to 1968, was an American actor and politician known for his distinctive presence in film, theater, and public service. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Decker began his acting career on the stage before transitioning to Hollywood films in the 1930s. He became known for his versatility, appearing in a range of roles from charming leads to complex villains. Decker's notable film appearances include classics like Dr. Cyclops, 1940, The Killers, 1946, and The Wild Bunch, 1969, which was released posthumously. His commanding voice and intense screen presence made him a memorable character actor in film noir and western genres. Aside from acting, Decker was also active in politics. He served as a member of the California State Assembly from 1944 to 1946, representing the Democratic Party. His political career was marked by his advocacy for arts and labor rights. Tragically, Albert Decker died in 1968 under mysterious circumstances at his home in Hollywood. Despite the controversy surrounding his death, his legacy as a talented and dedicated actor endures in classic American cinema. George Reeves, best known for playing Superman in the 1950s television series Adventures of Superman, was found dead on June 16, 1959, from a gunshot wound to the head in his Beverly Hills home. Though the death was officially ruled a suicide, many aspects of the case raised serious doubts and sparked decades of speculation. Reeves' fiancée, Leonore Lemon, and several guests were reportedly in the house at the time, but no one heard the gunshot clearly. Even more suspicious, the position of the body, lack of fingerprints on the weapon, and delayed police response led some to believe that Reeves may have been murdered. Theories include a love triangle gone wrong. Reeves had previously been romantically involved with Toni Mannix, the wife of powerful MGM executive Eddie Mannix, a man rumored to have mob connections. Some believe Reeves was silenced to protect reputations or to end personal entanglements. To this day, George Reeves' death remains one of Hollywood's most debated tragedies. Whether suicide or murder, the case continues to intrigue investigators, fans, and true crime historians alike. Thomas Ince, a pioneering film producer often called the father of the Western, died suddenly on November 19, 1924, after attending a weekend party on newspaper magnate William Randolph Hearst's private yacht, the Oneida. Officially, his cause of death was listed as acute indigestion or heart failure brought on by gastritis. However, the mysterious circumstances surrounding his final hours have fueled decades of speculation. According to reports, Ince fell ill after the yacht party and was rushed ashore, dying shortly afterward. Yet witnesses claimed that Hearst, actress Marion Davies, Charlie Chaplin, and other Hollywood elites were present during a supposed altercation on board. Rumors swirled that Hearst may have accidentally shot Ince while intending to confront Chaplin over a suspected affair with Davies. Adding to the mystery, Ince's body was quickly cremated, and no autopsy was performed. Hearst reportedly used his media empire to suppress coverage, deepening public suspicion. Though never proven, the theory of foul play remains popular. Thomas Ince's untimely death remains one of early Hollywood's most enduring and shadowy mysteries, blurring the line between fact and cover-up. Nicole Brown Simpson, the ex-wife of former NFL star and actor O.J. Simpson, was brutally murdered outside her Los Angeles home on June 12, 1994, alongside her friend Ron Goldman. Though Nicole was not a major film actress, her death became one of the most widely publicized and controversial criminal cases in American history, deeply impacting public discourse on domestic violence, celebrity justice, and race in America. Nicole had documented years of abuse during her marriage to Simpson, including police reports and 911 calls. On the night of her death, she was stabbed multiple times in a frenzied attack. O.J. Simpson quickly became the prime suspect, but his highly publicized trial ended in a not guilty verdict in 1995. Despite significant circumstantial and DNA evidence, the case captivated the nation, broadcast live on television and dissected in the media for months. Though Simpson was later found liable for the deaths in a civil trial, no one has ever been criminally convicted for Nicole's murder. Her tragic end remains a powerful symbol of domestic violence and the complexities of celebrity influence in the American legal system. King D. Gray was a respected cinematographer in the early days of Hollywood, known for his work on silent films and early talkies during the 1920s and 1930s. On August 28, 1938, Gray was found shot to death in his Los Angeles home, a grim and shocking end to a talented career. Despite immediate police investigations, the circumstances of his murder remain unclear and his killer was never identified. Reports indicated that Gray was shot at close range, but no clear motive or suspects emerged. Friends and colleagues described him as well-liked and professional, which deepened the mystery of why someone would want him dead. The crime scene yielded few clues, and there was no sign of forced entry, leading some to speculate that Gray may have known his attacker. Over the decades, various theories have been suggested, ranging from personal disputes to possible connections with organized crime, but none have been conclusively proven. King D. Gray's death remains one of Hollywood's enduring unsolved cases, a haunting reminder of the industry's darker past.